of the strongest aspects of Web3 is known as GameFi, which is essentially the gaming economy. It projects to be a major part of the economy moving forward, and some amazing collaborations are already happening. Today's guest, John Linden, has an exciting partnership with the NFL. It can help us understand the business possibilities in the world of GameFi. John, welcome to the Daily Drop.
Hello, thanks for having me, Bobby.
So look, for anybody at home who's like, what? Let's start right at the beginning. What is GameFi?
GameFi. I think honestly, Bobby, we're still getting used to this term as well, because we've been a long time in the gaming industry, and I think finance and virtual currencies and economies have always been part of our world. So I think the term GameFi, I think it's used for a lot of different things. For us, we kind of like to attribute it to the fact that basically there's kind of this new economy happening, right? There's now this concept of ownership, players, creators, stakeholders can now get involved, and now there's kind of a new finance layer of how that revenue can be split, how creators can kind of come into these economies now and become a stakeholder in these kind of new worlds. So that's the way we kind of use it. I think there's several definitions, but I think it's kind of this evolution of what we've been seeing over the last 20 years in gaming.
Right. So GameFi is kind of like gaming finance, basically, right?
Gaming finance. There we go. Yes.
Right. Okay. So let me ask you a question. So gaming finance, the gaming economy. Why is the gaming economy so powerful?
I think like one, we've seen a couple of big transitions over the last 20 years in gaming. And I think that's where some of this is really kind of evolving to. First, we kind of start off, video games have been around for decades and decades, and it's been kind of this escape, right? It's something that's really been very creative, very immersive, something people have really enjoyed. Over the last 20 years, we've seen things like free to play and mobile, free to play in PC and console. We've suddenly ballooned now from 100 million gamers to we're starting to approach 4 billion gamers a month now. So we've seen this big transition. So now we have nearly half the world's population are in these virtual worlds, right? And the next thing that kind of happened was things like UGC content, to where now not only platforms like Roblox and Minecraft, but also things like esports and influencers, and now brands are getting involved, musicians are getting involved, and there's tens of millions of creators now out there that are building in these worlds. So we're seeing these really, really interesting opportunities grow, and more people are spending more time in these gaming worlds.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question too, because it's funny. You think about Web3, it's really been besieged. It's been a really difficult year, but it seems like GameFi has been, I don't know, the strongest part of the larger Web3 economy. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's very accurate. In fact, we launched a new kind of, we have kind of a permissioned L1 chain that's made specifically for gaming. So we're only trading gaming assets. We're not trading anything beyond that. And we've actually seen volume double now in the last since December, since we put out this new chain. So we've seen a double in 3 months, which has just been remarkable to see. So yeah, we haven't really seen a lot of the effect of some of this. Because we're really, like I said, our market are gamers. We're not really necessarily playing to crypto traders or financial traders right now. It's really kind of bringing these gamers into this new world.
It's pretty remarkable, too, if you think about it, right? Because the NFT market collapsed, crypto collapsed, although it's been really strong in 2023. But do you think that the GameFi, it's almost like its own thing? It's like really separate from everybody else.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's something we have to keep in mind too. Is that a lot of the principles are the same, and that's what I love. I mean, a lot of these concepts of Web3 really do follow really nicely within gaming, but there is I think a couple misconceptions. I hear a lot of like crypto's made for gaming, and to me, it kind of the principles of what happens behind blockchain tech and decentralized economies are perfect for gaming. However, gamers are not necessarily crypto traders, right? They think in terms of liquidity. They think in terms of fun. They think in terms of spending their time in these worlds rather than necessarily making a profit, or they're not thinking about floors and bid prices and all that. So we're definitely seeing a big growth. I think for us, we've really focused hard to make sure it's a very safe experience for gamers, and also make sure it's an experience they can understand and kind of quickly jump into. And I think what we're seeing already is that as they start getting into the world, they start learning more and they experiment more and more. So I think gaming will be kind of this on-ramp for the industry, but I think it is still kind of a slightly different problem, at least initially, to solve.
Yeah, look, and we're going to go to break, but I mean, just yes or no, do you think it's just a lack of education? Like people don't really know the difference between GameFi and crypto and all these things?
Again, I think it's a little bit different purposes. I think if you watch the crypto industry, there's a lot of terminology that I think is not necessarily for gamers. This whole wind moon and kind of the idea that I'm coming in and buying an asset and I'm hoping it's worth more in five minutes from now or 5 days from now. Gamers are really thinking about it in terms of this is something I use, this is something I'm playing with, and if we can provide new models that also have the concepts of ownership around it while they're able to play with that, I think that's the big win of how we pull this massive group of consumers into this industry.
That's great. We got more on the Daily Drop.